James David Vance is an American politician, lawyer, author, and Marine veteran who has served since 2023 as the junior United States Senator from Ohio. A member of the Republican Party, Vance is Donald Trump's running mate and the Republican candidate for vice president in the 2024 United States presidential election. After graduating from Middletown High School, Vance joined the U.S. Marine Corps, where he served from 2003 to 2007 as a combat correspondent, with 6 months in Iraq. He then attended Ohio State University, graduating in 2009. Vance graduated from Yale Law School in 2013. His 2016 best-selling memoir Hillbilly Elegy received considerable press attention during the 2016 election and was adapted into a feature film in 2020. Vance won the 2022 United States Senate election in Ohio, defeating Democratic candidate Tim Ryan. Initially opposed to Donald Trump's candidacy in the 2016 election, Vance became a strong Trump supporter. In July 2024, Trump nominated Vance as his running mate at the Republican National Convention. He is the first Marine veteran to be nominated for vice president. On social issues, Vance has promoted strongly conservative policy, opposing abortion, same-sex marriage, and gun control, and has proposed banning transgender healthcare for minors. He differs from mainstream Republican views on market interventions, taxes, the minimum wage, unionization, tariffs, and antitrust policy, while opposing American military aid to Ukraine. Vance was born James Donald Bowman on August 2, 1984, in Middletown, Ohio, to Beverly Carroll and Donald Ray Bowman. He is of Scots-Irish descent. His parents divorced when he was a toddler. After Bowman was adopted by his mother's third husband, Bob Hamel, his mother changed his name to James David Hamel to remove his father's name but used the name of one of her brothers to preserve his nickname, J.D. Vance has written that his childhood was marked by poverty and abuse, and that his mother struggled with drug addiction. Vance and his sister Lindsay were raised primarily by his maternal grandparents, James and Bonnie Vance, whom they called Mama and Papa. His grandparents on both sides moved to Ohio from Kentucky's Appalachia. After graduating from Middletown High School in 2003, Vance enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps. He was deployed to Iraq as a combat correspondent for 6 months in late 2005. There, he was assigned to the Public Affairs section of the 2nd Marine Aircraft Wing. Vance has said that his service taught me how to live like an adult, and that he was lucky to escape any real fighting. Vance then attended Ohio State University with the support of the GI Bill's tuition benefits and graduated summa cum laude with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Political Science and Philosophy in 2009. At this time, he worked for Republican State Senator Bob Schuler. After graduating from Ohio State, Vance attended Yale Law School on a nearly full-ride scholarship for his first year. He became close friends during Yale's orientation with future Canadian Conservative Member of Parliament Jamal Javani. During his first year, Professor Amy Chua, author of the 2011 book Battle Hymn of the Tiger Mother, persuaded him to write his memoir, Hillbilly Elegy. Vance was an editor of the Yale Law Journal and graduated in 2013 with a Juris Doctor degree. In law school, Vance wrote for David Frum's From Forum website under the name J.D. Hamel in 2010 and 2011. Although Hillbilly Elegy implies that Vance adopted his grandparents' surname of Vance upon his marriage in 2014, the name change actually occurred in April 2013, as he was about to graduate from Yale. In 2017, Vance received an honorary degree from Centre College. After graduating from law school, Vance worked for Republican Senator John Cornyn. He spent a year as a law clerk for Judge David Bunning of the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Kentucky and entered private practice at the law firm Sidley Austin. Having practiced law for slightly under 2 years, Vance moved to San Francisco to work in the technology industry as a venture capitalist. Between 2016 and 2017, he served as a principal at Peter Thiel's firm, Mithril Capital. In June 2016, Harper published Vance's book, Hillbilly Elegy, a memoir of a family and culture in crisis. It was on the New York Times bestseller list in 2016 and 2017. The New York Times called it one of the 6 best books to help understand Trump's win. The Washington Post called Vance the voice of the Rust Belt, while the New Republic criticized him as liberal media's favorite white trash, splainer, and the false prophet of blue America. Economist William Easterly, a West Virginia native, criticized the book, writing, "Sloppy analysis of collections of people, coastal elites, flyover America, Muslims, immigrants, people without college degrees, you name it, has become routine. And it's killing our politics." Vance was a CNN contributor in early 2017. In April 2017, Ron Howard signed on to direct the film version of Hillbilly Elegy, which was released in select theaters on November 11, 2020. It was released on Netflix for streaming. In December 2016, Vance said he planned to move to Ohio and would consider starting a nonprofit or running for office. In Ohio, he started Our Ohio Renewal, a 501 advocacy organization focused on education, addiction, and other social ills that he had mentioned in his memoir. The group was closed after less than 2 years with sparse achievements. According to Jamil Javani, the organization's director of law and policy, the group's work was derailed because of his own cancer diagnosis. During Vance's 2022 campaign for U.S. Senate, Tim Ryan, the Democratic nominee, said the charity was a front for Vance's political ambitions. Ryan pointed to reports that the organization paid a Vance political advisor and conducted public opinion polling, while its efforts to address addiction failed. Vance denied the characterization. A 2021 report by Business Insider revealed that Our Ohio Renewal's tax filings showed that in its first year, it spent more on management services provided by its executive director Jai Chabria, who also served as Vance's top political advisor, than it did on programs to fight opioid abuse. According to the Associated Press, the charity's biggest accomplishment, sending psychiatrist Sally Sadel to Ohio's Appalachian region for a year-long residency in 2018, was tainted by the ties among Sadel, her employer, American Enterprise Institute, and Purdue Pharma, in the form of knowledge exchange between Sadel and Purdue and financial support from Purdue to AEI, as found by a ProPublica 2019 investigation. In an email to AP, Sadel denied having any relationship with Purdue or any knowledge of Purdue's donations to AEI. In 2017, Vance joined the investment firm Revolution LLC. It was founded by Steve Case, who also co-founded AOL. Vance was tasked with expanding the Rise of the Rest initiative, which focuses on growing investments in underserved regions outside Silicon Valley and New York City. In 2019, Vance co-founded Naria Capital in Cincinnati with financial backing from Peter Thiel, Eric Schmidt, and Mark Andreessen. In 2020, he raised $93 million for the firm. With Thiel and former Trump advisor Darren Blanton, Vance has invested in Rumble, a Canadian online video platform popular with the political right. In early 2018, Vance considered running for the U.S. Senate against Sherrod Brown, but did not. In March 2021, Peter Thiel gave $10 million to Protect Ohio Values, a super PAC created in February to support a potential Vance candidacy. Robert Mercer also gave an undisclosed amount. In April, Vance expressed interest in running for the Senate seat being vacated by Rob Portman. In May, he launched an exploratory committee. Vance is an ally of Republican fundraiser Nate Morris, who has also financially supported Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. Vance officially entered the race on July 1, 2021. It was his first campaign for public office. On May 3, 2022, he won the Republican primary with 32% of the vote, defeating multiple candidates, including Josh Mandel and Matt Dolan. On November 8, in the general election, Vance defeated Democratic nominee Tim Ryan with 53% of the vote to Ryan's 47%. On January 3, 2023, Vance was sworn into the Senate as a member of the 118th United States Congress, the first U.S. senator from Ohio without previous political experience since John Glenn, who took office in 1974. Vance's Senate work has included co-sponsored a bill with Senator Raphael Warnock to lower the price of insulin, collaborated with Senator Elizabeth Warren to claw back executive pay when big banks fail, along with Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, introduced a companion bill that would criminalize gender-affirming care for minors with penalties of up to 12 years in prison. He has also voted against raising the debt ceiling, standing against final passage of the Fiscal Responsibility Act of 2023. Vance was criticized for his delayed response to the 2023 train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. His office released an official statement on February 13, 2023, 10 days after the derailment, though Vance had sent a message on social media about the derailment the day after it occurred. On February 26, 2023, Vance wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post supporting the provision of PPP-style funds to those affected by the derailment, which some Republican senators criticized. On March 1, 2023, Vance, Brown, and Senators John Fetterman, Bob Casey, Josh Hawley, and Marco Rubio proposed bipartisan legislation to prevent derailments like the one in East Palestine. On January 31, 2023, Vance endorsed former President Donald Trump in the 2024 Republican Party presidential primary. On July 15, 2024, the first day of the 2024 Republican National Convention, Trump announced that he had chosen Vance as his running mate in a post on Truth Social. On July 17, the third day of the convention, Vance accepted the nomination to be Trump's running mate. He is the first Marine veteran on a presidential ticket. Trump's two eldest sons, Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump advocated for their father to choose Vance. Several media and industry figures are said to have lobbied for Vance to be on the presidential ticket, including Elon Musk, David O. Sachs, and Tucker Carlson. The Heritage Foundation, which drafted Project 2025, privately advocated for Vance to be Trump's vice presidential pick. Musk responded to Trump's vice presidential pick hours after its announcement, saying the ticket resounds with victory. David Sachs, a prominent GOP donor and Silicon Valley venture capitalist, wrote on X, "This is who I want by Trump's side, an American patriot." In 2022, Sachs gave Vance's Senate campaign $900,000 and Peter Thiel added $15 million. While it was initially reported that Elon Musk would be contributing $45 million monthly, Elon later stated that he plans to donate much lower amounts. Media commentators noted that Vance could strengthen the Republican ticket in the Midwest. David A. Graham of The Atlantic wrote that Vance brings youth and intellect to the Republican ticket. Catherine Lucy and John McCormick of The Wall Street Journal wrote that Vance offers Trump a natural successor to his MAGA movement due to his populist stances. As such, he is seen as a candidate who could increase voter turnout among the former president's loyal voting base. Reported that Vance could help deliver new funding streams to Trump's campaign, particularly those connected to the tech industry. On May 15, 2024, Trump attended a $50,000 per head private fundraising dinner with Vance in Cincinnati. Guests included Chris Bortz and Republican fundraiser Nate Morris. Vance appeared at significant conservative political events and was described as a potential running mate for Trump in June 2024. Shortly after being named Trump's running mate, Vance received renewed condemnation over his comments in a 2021 Fox News interview where he spoke negatively about childless women, saying, "We are effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too." On July 26, 2024, Vance clarified his remarks on the Megyn Kelly show following the backlash, saying it's not a criticism of people who don't have children, and adding this is about criticizing the Democratic Party for becoming anti-family and anti-child. Vance wrote in his memoir, Hillbilly Elegy, that he was raised in a low-income family by his single mother and grandmother, and his family had a difficult life in his hometown, Middletown, Ohio, where his mother's parents had moved from Kentucky. As a child, he longed for the American dream, with a happy family at its core, and admired Bill Clinton for his similar background, noting that Clinton had been a poor boy with a vaguely Southern accent, raised by a single mother with a heavy dose of loving grandparents. Around 2011, Vance met his wife, Usha Chilikuri, while both were students at Yale Law School. He has called her "my Yale spirit guide." In 2014, they married in Kentucky in an interfaith marriage ceremony, as she is Hindu and he Christian. Their wedding included a Bible reading by Vance's best friend, Jamal Javani, and the bride and groom were blessed by a Hindu pandit. The couple have 3 children. After graduating from Yale, Vance and his wife moved to San Francisco, where he worked with a venture capital firm for a few years, and she joined a law practice. In 2017, after the success of Hillbilly Elegy, Vance wrote in the New York Times that, as someone who had yearned for the American dream as a child, he found hope in Barack Obama's personal story, which showed that domestic hardships need not defeat us. Vance also saw similarities in terms of his own early personal accomplishments: a prestigious law degree, a strong professional career, and a modicum of fame as a writer, though he noted his political disagreements with Obama. Vance was raised in a conservative, evangelical branch of Protestantism. By September 2016, he was not an active participant in any particular Christian denomination, but was thinking very seriously about converting to Catholicism. In August 2019, Vance was baptized and confirmed in the Catholic Church in a ceremony at St. Gertrude Priory in Cincinnati, Ohio. He chose Augustine of Hippo as his confirmation saint. Vance said he converted because he became persuaded over time that Catholicism was true, and Augustine gave me a way to understand Christian faith in a strongly intellectual way, further describing Catholic theology's influence on his political views. In an interview with First Things, Vance said, "The core Christian insight into politics is that life is inherently dignified and valuable if you actually believe that. You want certain legal protections for the most vulnerable people in your society, but you also want to ensure that workers get a fair wage when they do a fair job. You want to make sure that people don't have their town poisoned because they happen to live next to a railway line." Vance intends to be buried in a cemetery plot on a mountainside in eastern Kentucky where multiple generations of his family have been laid to rest. I stop at this point today. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep exploring the world's incredible stories. Thank you for watching. I hope I added something to you.